finish up on this one, and a big thank you to the UK column viewer that said, was I aware? Was I aware that King Charles had activated the climate countdown clock with the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan? The climate clock has a countdown of 6 years and 24 days, and that's taking us through to 2030. So pretty interesting stuff, actually. This was part of the Evening Standard article, well, a picture at least, and you can see centre of your screen some of the many organisations supporting it, including the UK government, of course, and HSBC Bank. But I was fascinated with the picture, the whispers and smirks here. I wonder what they were saying. But what was extraordinary is if you went looking for this major event, I mean, the King was involved, so it's got to be a major event, absolute silence from the BBC. And I just wonder whether the BBC has got squeamish because so many people are very concerned about Charles' relationship with the World Economic Forum and Mr. Klaus Schwab. So I can't explain this. Have I missed it on the BBC website? Please check if you can, but it seems to me rather strange they haven't reported it. But of course, when you get into this, you find that very quickly you're into a very murky pond. You've got forums, you've got contractual partnerships with the UN. There's talk about all the actors involved. Global mayors are involved in this. And of course, Mark Anderson has been reporting all of their works on UK column for quite some time. And altogether, they are clearly working in a common purpose. Well, from the article, Nick Henry, the CEO of Climate Action, was quoted. He said, "We're honoured to be joined by His Majesty the King Charles at the Climate Innovation Forum for the National Climate Clock Switch On during London Climate Action Week. This powerful illustration of the scale of the climate emergency also reminds us that there is still time to avert the disaster." Now, I've put in there, be afraid, very afraid, because this is how I read everything they're pushing at us, that we've got to be afraid of what's happening. Well, that's according to them. We need to align all actors. Here they are, government, cities, investors, businesses, and civil society to move at speed and scale. So there he is declaring what is obviously the common purpose of this group of people. And if we add this one in as well, he said it's vital that we embrace the pro-growth opportunity of the net zero transition and turn ambition into transformational action. And I interpreted that as the Great Reset. Just very quickly, because we're getting short of time, Sandi, I'll just ask you for a very brief comment on what you think.
Well, it's another scaremongering tactic. I mean, how many of these deadlines have we had and they've passed? I mean, we're looking at 2004, Antarctica would be the only habitable continent by the end of this century, because if global warming remains unchecked. That was Professor David King, the UK's chief scientist, in 2004. I mean, if I had 50 quid for every deadline that we've been given, Al Gore, for instance, when he brought out Inconvenient Truth, said that, there'd be no snow by, I think, no, actually it was David Viner that said there'd be no snow in 2000. And then in 2018, we had the Beast from the East. I mean, apparently children wouldn't know what snow was. We've had all these different deadlines with Al Gore as well, with the Inconvenient Truth, which was in the late 90s. So, none of these predictions have come true. So this is yet another clock. It's a clock, isn't it?
Yes, it's not based on truth. It's fantasy, which is why they keep having problems with the deadlines. But let's just finish off. Thank you for that. Let's just finish off the segment. Here's the great man talking again. We learn that Climate Action was formed in 2007 in a unique contractual partnership with the UN Environment. Climate Action's flagship event, the Sustainable Innovation Forum, now in its 9th year, is held alongside the annual United Nations climate change meetings, showcasing technologies, policies and finance to mitigate global carbon emissions. So King Charles is not working in the best interest of the country. He's working absolutely with these agencies, and I think he needs to be held fully accountable. But according to his Twitter page, he's been speaking up for the planet for 50 years. Shame about the people living on the streets and people who can't feed themselves, but he's speaking up for the planet. But I couldn't resist this one, because now he's heading into space with Astra Carter. He's not only going to save the world, he's going to save space as well. And I think it would be good for him to go into space in order to sort his problem out. But this was part of the story, and I thought this was very significant. So this is a huge advertising agency, JCDecaux. And if we look in Plymouth, virtually every bus stop advertising hoard is owned by them, very high-tech digital. They're joining the Climate Clock switch on. And they say that to mark this moment, a Climate Clock campaign across JCDecaux's UK digital screens has gone live. So what we're actually now going to see on the back of King Charles' work is brainwashing and fear spread across all of these hoardings right the way across the country. Pretty horrific, really. Yes. On that,
well, we just got one little video clip here that we're going to show. So yep. Patrick, just introduce this, because Biden seems to be a naughty boy.
John Solomon, Just the News, great journalist in Washington, D.C., through a recent deposition, was able to get documents for the investigation into the Biden crime family syndicate, found a phone number in Hunter Biden's communications, decided to call the phone number, and lo and behold, well, we'll let John Solomon tell you what happened. Here's the video.
Before it was turned over from the FBI, there had been some documents that law enforcement had gotten through other means. And one of those documents got leaked to me, and it had a cell phone number that Hunter Biden was paid for. So I figured, oh, this is my chance. Maybe I can. I've been trying to get fair comment from Hunter Biden, so I'm going to call the cell phone. So I called the cell phone, and guess who picked up the phone?
Oh, boy.
Joe Biden.
Joe?
Joe Biden.
What?
Boy, was he shocked when he picked up the phone and found out it was me. He hung up pretty quickly.
Quite incredible, Patrick.
So that was a burner phone, which Hunter Biden was paying $300 a month, an international burner phone for the big guy, for Joe Biden. So, I mean, this till today, the president of the United States is carrying a burner phone given to him by Hunter to talk business. So, I mean, how long until the impeachment hearings? I don't know. But this could be one of those things that sinks Joe Biden's reelection bid. So, cue Gavin Newsom, exit. Yeah. Stage left.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, we'll talk about a bit more about that in extra.
Yeah, Pat, thank you very much. Thank you also to Sandy. Now, I'm going to say there is extra UK column. Extra is coming up shortly, so if you're a member, please join us for that. And Sandi Adams has kindly agreed to stay so we can have a bit more discussion about matters to do with climate change and Agenda 2030. We may mention the King as well, so if you can join us then. But I'd like to end just thanking again everybody that's supporting UK Column and enabling us to function and actually grow. We really appreciate it. We'll leave it there. We'll be back with you very shortly. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.